Hi everyone, I'm here today to talk about verifying consumer requests as part of the California Consumer Privacy Act. In order to grant the rights provided by the law to consumers starting in January 2020, businesses are going to need to be able to verify a consumer's identity. This is the only way that businesses will be able to provide the right to access and the right to delete without actually harming an individual's data privacy rights. I am the director of the data privacy group at CLARUP. CLARUP is an AI-based data privacy and consent management platform that helps businesses manage data privacy and compliance risks. If you're looking for a software solution to facilitate compliance for the California Consumer Privacy Act, call CLARUP at 1-888-252-5653 to schedule a demo. The consumer request is going to be an important part of maintaining consumer privacy as part of the law. I will be talking today about when it comes into play, why we are concerned about verifying consumer requests as part of the right to access and the right to delete, the legal definition of the term in the law, as well as discuss the rulemaking process, which will set forth with greater specification the precise contours of how businesses should be verifying consumer requests, and that will obviously play a major role in the compliance efforts that a business has to take to comply with this section. Businesses can only take action under the law after receiving a verifiable consumer request. On the screen in front of you is sections of the right to access, and it provides in subsection C that a business can only provide the information once it has received a verifiable consumer request. This also applies under the right to delete in section 105. C says that a business must receive a verifiable request from a consumer to delete the consumer's personal information. You may have noticed that there's slightly different terminology between the right to access and the right to delete under the law. This difference is currently being addressed by the Technical Corrections Bill, SB 1121, which is working its way through the California legislature. As many of you know, the California Consumer Privacy Act was written and negotiated fairly quickly in order to avoid a November ballot initiative, and some minor errors, technical errors like this one cropped up into the bill. It should be corrected so that the same language will be used in both the right to access and the right to delete and throughout the rest of the law. So expect that the verifiable request language that you see here will be pretty much the same as the verifiable consumer request previously in the right to access. If you look at the definition of verifiable consumer request, there's a few things that you should note for compliance purposes. First, it provides not only that the request can be made by the consumer, but also that it can be made by a natural person or a person registered with the Secretary of State on behalf of the consumer who has their authorization. This will obviously complicate the process of a verifiable consumer request. Another thing to note is that the Attorney General will be issuing rules in order to provide for businesses to reasonably verify consumer requests. So you can look forward to additional clarity on what businesses are going to need to do. If businesses can't reasonably verify a consumer's identity under the law, then they are not required to act. The Attorney General rulemaking process is going to be happening in the next year. It provides that the AG is going to solicit public participation to set forth additional information. One of the rules and procedures that needs to be created by the Attorney General is on how to fulfill the verifiable consumer request language. The concern is that if the burden is too heavy on consumers, they won't exercise their rights, and if the burden is too heavy on businesses, then it will be too onerous for them to actually grant these rights to consumers. So the Attorney General is going to set forth additional rules clarifying how businesses can verify requests coming in from consumers. Those will include how to verify what the process will be for verification of a submission from a logged in user, as well as the necessary information to receive if the user does not have an account. As many of you know, the California Consumer Privacy Act doesn't require that an individual create an account in order to exercise their rights. So this will be one of the issues that the Attorney General, in consultation with the public, will need to work through. As you can see, the rule is expected to be issued within 1 year of passage, so you can expect that these rules will be finalized or farther in the process by June 2019. We'll be updating this video as the additional rules are issued by the Attorney General. We hope you enjoyed this brief look into verifiable consumer requests. If you are looking for a software solution to the California Consumer Privacy Act, please call CLARUP at 1-888-252-5653. We hope you enjoyed this video, and please check out the rest of our series on the California Consumer Privacy Act.